Hello friends. Today we're going to be making over this toy house from Dollar Tree. And I've seen a lot of places on the internet making them into haunted houses. And I thought, what could I do for our followers that would be something different? So here's my inspiration piece. It's from a catalog called Country Door. It's a great place to order some products from. But the items here were listed at $29.99 each. And I thought I could replicate that for a lot cheaper. Now keep in mind, these are ceramic items. I think $29.99 is a fair price for what you're getting from Country Door, but we're going to make a little cheaper version today. Here are the items that you will need to complete this project. Dollhouse, wood base, pumpkins, hay bales, embellishments, paint, glue, and twigs, and of course a snack. You always need a snack when you're crafting. Okay, so I have all the pieces disassembled. All the windows and doors have been taken out. I could not get these popped out. They looked like they were a little bit harder, the top windows here. So I'm just going to leave those in and paint that the same color that I'll be painting the roof. And the colors that I chose, I'm going to paint the house in this blue ocean color by Waverly. It's a chalk paint. So I'll paint the base of the house in that. Then I will do the roof in this black. But then I will come back in with a dry brush and cover over most of that roof in this nimbus. So I painted the house in the blue color that I like. And I thought this kind of looked like a fence going around here. So I did do that in the white paint. So it'll look like a little fence. And then I painted the base coat on the roof in black. So we're going to do some dry brushing over both of these to make it look a little more like an aged house. So to do the dry brushing, you need a brush and your white paint. You just get some paint on your brush, then you rub most of that back off. Like I've said many times, you can always come back and add more paint. It's a lot easier. So see how we're just going to just highlight the shingles on the roof. It's pretty easy. And when you need a little more paint, just put it on there and keep highlighting. So I'm going to dry brush the roof and the house here. So there it is. Our little house is put together. Now the directions say that you can buy multiple houses and clip them together. So I had decided to put a house on the front and then go around and put the identical section on the back so you would have a complete 360 house. And I thought, how cute would it be if I did the back house in a brick, like a red, and do it a Christmas house. So then I can have the front of this house would be fall and decorate it with the little elements around. And then the back side, can just flip it over when Christmas comes and have a little Christmas scene. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm going for that, and I will paint the back in red and maybe stick with the same roof, I'm not sure. So now it's time to reinsert our windows. And there is some artwork on these windows. And here, these ones that go on the side of the house have curtains actually. So I think those are the side of the house, yes. So what if on our fall side we put some curtains in there or do some little embellishments around the windows? So maybe some orange, because we're gonna have orange pumpkins and things sitting around. So I think maybe we'll do these little flower accents in orange, and I'm not sure, maybe we should leave those curtains white because the side of the house will be the transition from the fall house to the Christmas house that we'll put on the back. So these little side windows, maybe I should just leave there in the white. I painted the flower embellishments in just a little orange. Thought that might be cute for fall. And then as I was doing the door, a farmhouse door to me seems like it would be wood. So I painted the door white, then I did a little dry brush in brown on the door. And as I was doing that, I thought, well, maybe these windows should have some brown on them because a little farmhouse would have like a wood window. So we're going to put some dry brush on that. And I'll show you, since I did that other one off camera, I'll just show you how this one will be done. Just get small amount of paint on your brush there and just go right over that in the brown. Now it's time to put the doors and the windows back in. I'm going to decorate this little house as if it was our own house. We're going to decorate it for fall. We'll have a wreath on the front door, some pumpkins sitting around. So let's pop those windows back in, and then will come the fun part of just the embellishment. Now I decided for the side windows that yellow would be a pretty color for fall, or the back side that will be Christmas. So I think right here on these side windows, I'm going to do those curtains in yellow. There's our little farmhouse. I like it. Now you don't have to use the colors that I chose. You can do any color that you want. That's the great thing. I'm just here to inspire you to make a little farmhouse and decorate it as you would for fall, maybe for a tier tray or a shelf sitter. So our house needs a platform to sit on because I'd like to put some pumpkins out front. Then we do the Christmas side, maybe some, I don't know, Christmas trees. I've not thought about the Christmas side yet, but we just need a little base for our house to sit on. So I think I'm going to cut it with a little bit of maybe yard out front, so we will be able to sit some decorations on there. So I'm going to mark about where I think it should be, where we should cut it. I'd say about right here. This wood seems to be pretty thin. It's just left over from the summer crafts at Dollar Tree. We're just going to lay it down on our mat. Take that string out. Lay it down on our mat. Put our ruler there. Get our knife and we'll just score that right up. We'll just break that off. Just trim that up. And that'll be our base for our house. It would be cute if we did a gray and make it look like a stone walkway back in the Christmas days, maybe in the old Christmas villages. You know, they have the little stone, pebble stone roads, and that might look good if we do that. So the first thing we want to do is coat this in a base coat of black. We'll come back in with some gray and make our stones. So now we're going to take our little brick stone area that our house is going to sit on. We're going to paint the brick or the stone, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to kind of make it a brick shape, so maybe we should call it brick. But what you want to do is you want to get a square. Make sure you have a square brush. I've got two here to pick from, depending on which one I like the best, but I think maybe this one since it's not got some frayed edges. And you just start. We'll probably just start right up here in the corner so I can kind of show you. And you want to just draw one little brick, and then you, see if I can make that for you can see it. Draw one little brick, make a space, and draw your next brick. Make a space, and draw your next brick. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It's kind of cobblestone bricky. So, and the point is, you want it to end straight. So let's make the second one here, or the next one here. And if it doesn't end up being straight, then you could just go back up over that and hit it again. So see how we're ending up with some little brick there? So we'll keep going. And what we'll do is we'll do this whole length, but I'm not going to do the whole length because I want to show you how to do the second layer. It's just as if you're laying real brick. So when you get ready to do the second layer, you come up here. So you put that second brick, for the second line, you put that next brick over these spaces between the first line. So it's pretty much just like you're laying real brick. Just continue to draw all your little brick, and if If you have a place that doesn't come out straight, you can always turn your brush over and make that straight. Come here, and they're not going to be the same. They're not going to be identical. That's the great thing about these little cobblestone walkways. They're not the same. This is what we're going to have instead of grass. Being that I'm doing it two-sided, I wanted the fall side and the Christmas side to match, because otherwise you're not going to have green grass at Christmas time. Well, some of you do. And as it gets bigger, it'll look more and more like the brick. And then we'll come in and add some color to it to make a little bit of dimension on our stones. So our cobblestone walk is done. Now, when we put our house on it, it's going to be fall on one side, and then it'll be Christmas on the other side. So now we're just going to start decorating this little house with some pumpkins sitting out front, and maybe a wreath on the door. I don't know exactly what all we're going to put on there, but we'll come up with something and have us a cute little fall house for our display shelf. But first, I want to paint the back side of the house. Now, there's no need to go through exactly how to paint again. The only thing that I'm going to change is make this kind of like a red brick, and I may stick with the same roof on the house so they all match, but then when we turn it over, we'll have the red brick for a Christmas scene as opposed to a fall scene. So I'm going to do that now, and I'll show you what it looks like. For the Christmas side of our little house, I dry brushed over the red with the white to kind of make it look like a brick. And then these little things that I used as fence posts on the fall side, I think they could look like Christmas trees. So what I'm going to do is paint each one of them as if it's a Christmas tree. Wish me luck. So here we have our two-sided house. We've got our fall house with a little white picket fence. And then I decided to turn those picket fences into shrubbery for the little Christmas house. Now, after the paint dries, I will hit that with quite a bit of white so it'll look like some snow. Maybe have some snow on the ceiling up here. But like I told you, we're going to be putting these together. Now, in order for those houses to lay flat against each other, those hinges do need to be clipped off. Where that was cut off there is just a little gap. So I'm just going to cut a little piece of popsicle stick or craft stick and put it right there behind, and then touch that up with the paint so there won't be a hole when the two pieces go together. You won't need it on that side because it's a solid piece, but you'll need it on one side of each individual house base, so it'll go right there as well. So I'll cut those, glue them in, and paint them to match the rest. Now there it is. You can see I just put those popsicle sticks in and closed up that gap. Now I'll just paint them to match. Now here, I apologize. It's a little off the camera, but I am gluing the bottom pieces together as well as the two roof pieces. Okay, so friends, we have our little house completed. There's our fall side. Here's our Christmas side. I can tell you I am not happy with the green shrubbery. It did not turn out in my head, or did not turn out like I could vision it in my head. So for sure I will be getting some of those mini Christmas trees and placing them on my Christmas side. But that'll be when we get a little bit closer to Christmas. Right now we're going to focus on the fall side. Now a few hints that I want to give you when putting this house together. I did glue the bottom part of the house to the unit. It went together really good. I filled in the areas where there were holes showing through with those craft sticks like I told you. Now I'm not going to put the top on permanently because we'll want to be able to place a little tea light down in there so we can light our windows for our Christmas or fall decor. So now we're going to move on to placing some pumpkins around, maybe some hay bales, getting a little bit of fall decor on our front fall house. Now at my house, there's never a shortage of embellishments when it comes time to put our pumpkins and things around our little fall house. So I want to show you some ideas that I have. This is a Dollar Tree item. It's the little bale of hay. So we'll probably use that. These are also Dollar Tree little pumpkins. We can use those. I have some cute buttons here from Michael's. This little scarecrow. I think he would go perfect with the theme. I have these, but I believe they're apples. But I should be able to paint that and turn that into a pumpkin. I thought we needed something on the door for a wreath. And I have this little flower. I'm not real fond of the shape of the painting on that flower. It could go here on our little front door. Oops. It could go there on our little front door. But I'm not sure I'm liking that very much. And I did have something in my sticker stash that I might just cut around a sunflower here and put that on the front door to make it look like a wreath. The size works pretty good. And then finally, I had a sign in my sticker stash that says harvest. That might work. And I went out in the yard and grabbed a little tree. And I have some of these flower petals. I thought I could cut some fall leaves and stick them on that little tree and put that there on my yard area for my fall house. So here's the completed project, and I'll give you a little close-up of all the areas that we worked on so you can get a better look. Okay, now here's our fall tree that we made. I used some twigs out of my backyard, took a fall flower and cut small leaves out of it, placed them on the tree with the glue gun, and then placed a few there on the ground below as if they had fallen from the tree. There's the Dollar Tree apple that was painted orange like a pumpkin. Now on the other side, you'll see a jack-o'-lantern there from Dollar Tree. That was cut off of one of those little cupcake picks. We have another apple that we turned into a pumpkin sitting on top of the hay bale. And all three of those items did come from Dollar Tree. Then you'll see the scarecrow button that came from Michael's. And then up top you'll see the little owl button that we placed on the roof. Now there you can see that I had the wreath made by that sticker that I said I was going to cut around. And you can't tell here, but I did place a pop dot behind it so it appears to be standing off the door instead of flat like a sticker would lay. And finally, I just made a rug to put there in front of the door. Now I took a Dollar Tree leaf, fall leaf that was burlap. I cut it into a rectangle, and then on each end I pulled out some strings to make that fringe effect. So there it is, our dollhouse makeover from Dollar Tree into our fall theme setting. Now I said earlier in the video that we were going to do an identical house on the back side, connect them together, and that back house will be Christmas colors and Christmas theme. So if you enjoyed this video, I encourage you to click that subscribe button so that you'll be notified when we do the back side in the Christmas theme. Now that video will be completed and released a little closer to the holidays. But in the meantime, I want to thank you for joining me today for this craft. And until next time, so long.